Hello, everybody. This is Paul Thorn, and I'm here for another episode of Tales and Nails, where I have the privilege to talk to and interview very talented people that's on the Cayamo singer-songwriter cruise. And today, I am honored to have a well-respected songwriter and singer and guitar player, Robbie Fulks. What's going on, my friend?
Hey, Paul. Good to see you.
How you doing?
Great.
Tell everybody what's going on. Put in context where we are right now.
We're on a boat on a raging sea, and on the way to what? What's the first stop today?
Is it St. Thomas? We're gonna get off. You gonna get off when we get on the port?
Yeah, I guess we're doing some snorkeling or whatever my wife wants to do once we get to. You're already skeptical.
Yeah. Well, how long have you been married?
Oh boy, I should have a ready answer for that one. 29 years?
29 years?
Yeah.
I've been married 22 years. You got any advice for me? What?
The first 22 years are the best.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Good. So is she enjoying being on the cruise?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
How many shows have you done so far?
Well, I've done a couple little things where you go and sit in or do a round robin, but just 2 sets of my own.
Well, before the cruise, I had a privilege. We got to do a show together.
Yes.
Yeah, it
on
was
Thursday in Fort Lauderdale.
It was a nice gig. Did you have a good
really
time
was.
on that one?
Yeah, that was an easy one. Just show up 40 minutes in advance. Although I didn't mean to show up that soon, and and then to get to watch you and to watch you do your crowd work was awesome.
Well, I appreciate that, man. Well, you're a good entertainer too. I liked it when you walked away from the microphone, and they had to really listen to hear you because you didn't have no amplification. I like to do that sometimes.
You know, people
myself.
do that. I worked with Robert Earl Keen for a little while, meaning that I toured with him in the '90s, and there was a thing like almost a shtick that he did at the end of the show where he'd walk out. And then since then I've seen other people do it, and I always thought to myself, why is that so impressive? Like, you get out and you're not mic'd and people like it. I mean, I can't quite figure out why that's effective, but I mean, you can spin a theory pretty easily why it's effective. But anyway, early on I saw, people like that,
Oh yeah, I do it all. I do it myself sometimes, and sometimes, rarely. But the power has went off. Like the PA went out, and I'll do it then. And sometimes we even pretend that the power went out.
There you go.
We stage it, and they still love it, and everything. But man, looking over your bio and everything, I'm intimidated because you seem like you're a lot smarter than me.
That is yet to be determined.
Well, I mean, you're into quantum mechanics.
Well.
To explain that, I don't even know. I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know what that is.
That's the smallest thing.
For dummies, give me a for dummies description of what that is.
Well, you're going to get me in over my head real quick. I like reading about a lot of things that I have a hard time understanding. For instance, I'm very, very bad at math and pretty bad at science, and so I spent a fair amount of time reading on those subjects. And in physics, quantum mechanics, which kind of started to flourish, I would say, in the 1930s, just the smallest elements of life, smaller than atoms,
I didn't know there was such thing smaller than an atom.
Right. So an atom, has a nucleus in it. And what's in the nucleus? And, you probably heard of the Large Hadron Collider, or sometimes it's pronounced hadron, where they tried to find the Higgs boson a few years back, which is these little tiny subatomic particles that are being discovered by building big machines that collide things together with sort of the energy that was present in the Big Bang. And so anyway, we're finding out things now that people had no idea about 150, 200 years ago, and that are changing. What are they changing? They're changing our basic ideas of the way reality is. That gravity is a dominant force in life, is kind of not as true seeming as it used to be. But I shouldn't talk that long about it because I'll hit the bottom of my knowledge.
That's pretty amazing.
Jeffrey Perkins can tell you more, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, you said something about the Big Bang. I know a little bit about that, but because it's sort of a common thing. But This is a question I don't know if you have the answer to. Nobody seems to. What do you have any kind of belief in a higher power of any type?
Yeah, I feel
Something bigger than us that's got a brain thinking about things.
intuitively, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And I'm open to all sorts of spiritual intuitions. I think it would be kind of dumb not to be. But on the other hand, I left Christianity kind of early on at about 16, and felt lucky to leave it.
Well, okay. What made you feel lucky?
Not having the burden of that dogma. A lot of it was hard for me to believe, but the challenge of faith is to believe what's completely implausible and seems like not only is there no evidence to back it up, it seems like if it were true, it would be kind of insane if it were true. Virgin births and rising from the dead and the rest of the things that we were asked to believe as Christians. So once I said, well, maybe I don't have to believe that stuff, I felt a burden lifted from me, and as well as just the more general prohibitions. I mean, there's insane prohibitions in Leviticus and prohibitions against, taking the Lord's name in vain. And hey, it's fun to say "God damn." I thought one day,
It is.
like that's something we can all relate to.
Yeah, well, my dad is a Pentecostal preacher, so I feel you, and I too left religion when I was 18.
No kidding.
Yeah, I did, and I went out. What really made it happen for me is, all my life I was just told about Jesus. That's all I knew about. But when I went to other countries, I was, fortunate to travel. I saw people that wasn't praying to Jesus; they was praying to something else. Mm-hmm. So it seems like what we believe, it seems like it's almost fed to us by our culture, and we just eat it without seeing what the ingredients is. You know what I mean? And so more and more people that I meet that travel in music or business, they all saying the same thing you're saying right now. It's almost like the answer is I don't know. Would that be an answer you would say?
I think it's a very honorable answer, and to as far as a God that is interested in us, that designed us and is interested in what we do, that for me is a little hard to believe. But the idea of something that our senses can't begin to comprehend, that's very easy for me to take on, and we all have these intuitions, right? I think.
Oh yeah. When you did the show the other night, I had heard about you for many years, but there's a comedic thing to what you do.
You too.
Yeah, I think we was birds of a feather on that one, and I understand that you're heavy into comedians.
I love them, yeah.
But all right, this is. Who's your favorite?
I'm not very discriminating because I like, a lot of people aren't into stand-up comedy. Like, it seems like I know guys that write comedy or produce comedy that think stand-up is kind of base or not that respectable. But I like it all. I like dumb shit. I like the Three Stooges,
Oh, yeah.
And I like smart shit, too, and stuff in between, pretty nuts. But a favorite, I don't know, like in books, like a favorite would be P.G. Wodehouse or S.J. Perelman, but a favorite in stand-up might be, I don't know, nobody earth-shaking.
Do you like George Carlin?
I was going to say George Carlin, Richard Pryor, and the
That's my
greats.
school, George Pryor, yeah.
We're same generation.
Sam Kinison.
Sam, I loved at the time. Now, how has that aged when you go back and look at it now?
Well, when I went back and watched his bit on these necrophiliacs who invade a funeral home and rent it out for the night. Have you heard that one? Oh, my God. Don't listen to it. Don't listen to it. Well, tell me about your wife, Donna. How does she put up with you?
Well, just the same as your wife, probably, because I'm gone a lot, so
Yeah.
we're happy to see each other when I come home.
Y'all have children?
Yeah, we've got 3.
Oh, yeah, you told me that. Are they all sons?
Well, we didn't tell them that, but...
Okay, yeah. You got
yeah, they're all
sons,
sons. Yeah, and 2 grandsons, so...
What's it like having a grandson?
It's the best. It's like, come over, we'll play. I feel admiration for my grandsons. We have a great relationship. I'm able to turn them on to Marx Brothers and stuff that their friends wouldn't know about. You know, their 5-year-old friends or whatever. And then at the end of the day, like, love you, goodbye, see you next time.
Send them on home.
Yeah.
And at this stage in their life, you are God. They love you, man. They're hanging all over you.
For some reason, they love you.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
It really is.
What does your wife do besides
She's a voiceover actress.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll be dang.
Yeah.
So how does that work? What is she? Is there anything notable that you could?
Oh, it's just too much to even remember. I mean,
That's awesome.
She's had a great success with her career, and like in the '90s, she was the spokesperson for Sears Kenmore for a while, and then J.C. Penney for about 10 years, and then Olive Garden, and I think she's doing Olive Garden right now. She's doing a couple different radio stations. She's doing a quiz show called what's it called, Card Sharks or something Sharks. It's hard to keep up with, but and she did the voice of Charlie and Charlie's Angels when there was a female voice in it in the movie.
Really?
Yeah, that was a
cool, man.
Cool gig she got.
That's awesome. I bet that's a competitive thing, isn't it? You got to be there and show up, I bet.
She is, I don't know too much about it because I don't go to work with her, but she's always on. She's got one of these personalities that's like go, go, go,
Awesome.
on, and I think that has served her well.
Awesome. Is the Wild 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 record the last record you did? Is that right?
I guess so. Well, yeah, it's definitely the last one I put out with a label.
Yeah.
With the label's help, and I did it with Linda Gale Lewis, who do you know her?
I don't. That's what I was going to ask you about. I'm completely out of the loop on who this
you know
person.
Jerry Lee Lewis from
Yeah.
Faraday, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So his sister,
Oh, okay.
plays kind of in his style,
Yeah.
and sings real well, and is a delightful person, and a songwriter too, I should say. So
My daddy just went to Jerry Lee Lewis's ranch, and he got his picture took sitting at Jerry's piano. He was pretty excited. about
nice,
it. Yeah.
nice. Like his
Yeah.
childhood piano, or what?
They have you can tour through his house. And, no, it's a grand.
Okay.
It's just one he owned. My dad's a big Jerry Lee fan and everything.
Cool.
Yeah, but
Well, get him that record. Get your dad that record. I bet he knows Linda.
okay. Oh yeah, he
Or I'll give
probably
you.
does. He
Yeah.
probably does. Yeah. I listened to it, and the song that I really liked was "That's Why They Call It Temptation."
Oh, thank you.
It sounds like it's just really old school. It sounds like
George and Tammy style.
Oh, y'all
thing, I
did.
guess.
Y'all nailed how that music's supposed to be done.
Thank you.
Yeah. And on another subject, I read here on your bio that you like rye whiskey.
I do. Yeah.
What sets it apart from everything else?
Well, it's a little it just goes down a little smoother than bourbon, I think. But I like bourbon too.
It's
Yeah.
all poison.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
And that I was just gonna touch on just my situation just for a minute. Is I told you before I went on the air here that I recently got my 1-year chip.
Yeah.
I'm 1 year and a month sober. I had to quit because it was snowballing to a very dangerous level, and I was getting drunk every night and waking up with a hangover every morning. And so after I've got a little time under my belt, I feel fantastic.
So I wonder if I should follow in your footsteps. How many years were you getting drunk every night and waking up?
All right, I drank alcohol for the first time in my life on my 32nd birthday.
Wow.
That's right.
I almost did a spit take. That's
right.
really,
Yeah, well, because I was an athlete, I was a professional athlete, and I was a
Yeah.
preacher's kid. I was in the military. I worked in a factory. I had all these things where I had to be on punctual and have my head straight. So at 32, I drank a bottle of wine. I shot it because I took a big swig and I said, it ain't doing nothing. And they said, well, drink some more. So I shot the whole bottle, and it started off real good. I ran out in skinny dipping when nobody else was skinny dipping. And then I wound up throwing up by a pine tree. But at 57,
that happens to most of us when we're 13, but you
Yeah,
waited to
yeah.
32.
But I how do I say this? Yeah, at 50, whenever I quit, 3 people encouraged me to quit. First, Steve Poltz. You know who that is?
Yeah, he was a bad drunk.
He wasn't talking to me about being about my drunkenness. He was telling me about his path with it and what a horrible ending it had for him. When he was talking about it, it stuck in my head. And then another random fan that I don't even know her name came up to me after one of my shows and says, "Paul, I don't remember you drinking like this." And that stuck in my head. And then right after that, my youngest daughter, Bella, told her mother, she didn't say it to me, she said, "But when Daddy's drunk, I feel alone." And boy, that was a wake-up call for me. And I cried tears for a long time. And then I said, you know what, I'm gonna quit being a fool, man. And it wasn't easy at first, because a lot of the reason I drank is I had insecurity about going on stage. Because people would come to my shows, and I tell my little stories, and people would say, "Oh, we brought our friends. We told them how funny you are. They just can't wait to hear how great you are." And I'm like, "Oh, don't say that.
Right.
I'm not great."
Would you perform under the influence when you were drinking?
Yeah, and at first, I'd have that little two drink sharp feeling you get, but that 2-drink feeling's hard to maintain. Next thing you know, I got sloppy. And it got to a point where there were nights I got sloppy on stage, which ain't fair to my band, which ain't fair to everybody that works with me, and it ain't fair to them fans, to be a drunk. And so just for me, and I'm not against drinking, but it just got out of hand for me. Some people can moderate drink. I don't think I can anymore.
Well, that 2-drink thing that you said reminded me, and as much as I sort of loathe guys who sit around quoting their own song lyrics, I've got a song called "I Hear the Wine Talking," and it's saying more wine is the joke, but in the end of the chorus you hear what the wine is saying, and I think it's true from my experience anyway, which is the wine is saying, or the drink is saying, the hour is not that late, you're still walking straight, and she's not quite forgotten. So it just never gets to that point where, and I feel this in the over drinking that I do now. It's like I'm never really drunk. It's the end of the night, and I've had a number of glasses of whiskey, and I was like, I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling normal. And you never get to that point of happiness that you're aiming for, I've noticed.
And then
the morning.
And then after a while, it doesn't even do what it used to do.
Right, that's right.
But anyway, Robbie, I want to tell you I'm a fan of yours. I'm glad we got to do a show together the other night. And I look forward to becoming friends in the future.
Absolutely. Are we done? Is that it?
Well, I'm just saying, you didn't come prepared to play a song, did you? Hey everybody, what a thrill it is to have Robbie Fulks here with us, and he's going to honor us with the song of his choice. Take it away.
Paul, I'm going to do the song we discussed in the interview right there. I swore when she dumped me, being my own company wouldn't break me. I'm no sentimental throwback, you might not know that from me lately. It's been hell trying to shake off her memory, but tonight I'm making a start, for I called an old friend in, and just listening to him doing wonders for my heart. Now I hear the wine talking, it's saying more wine. It cries the night is young, this feeling's feeling awful fine. Don't leave me half empty, this ain't no time to be stopping, for the hour's not that late, you're still walking straight, and she's not quite forgotten. Steel, fiddle, banjo, drums. Hey there, Mr. Lonely, I'm the light you only need to let in. Now go knock another glass we're on the fast track to forgetting? Or am I slowly going crazy? I'm beginning to have my fears, for there's no one else around, and still the same old sound keeps ringing in my ears. Yes, I hear the wine talking. It's saying more wine. Well, it cries the night is young, and this feeling's feeling awful fine. Don't leave me half empty. This ain't no time to be stopping, for the hour's not that late. You're still walking straight, and she's not quite forgotten. No, the hour's not that late. You're still walking straight, and she's not quite forgotten. Yes, I hear the wine talking.
Oh, that's a great song, man.
Thank you.
Awesome. Man, what a thrill this is to be sitting here with the great Robbie Fulks. He's a very well-respected man all over the world. And so, that's right. That's right. And we want to say thank y'all, whoever's watching this. We want to thank y'all for watching. And thanks again, Robbie.
Thank you, sir.
And good luck
Good
to
to hang
you
with
and
you,
Donna
Bob.
and all you sons and
Thank
your
you.
grandbaby.
Same to you.
All right, man. Everybody take care. So long, suckers.